everyone, Mark and Joey here from the ultimatesportschannel.com. Here with our tennis show, Joey. It probably has taken us a couple days just to get over the sports from the last couple of weeks. 3:30 in the morning, we were up midnight, where it was a tough time, and then the Super Bowl. So we've had an exhausting week. We're getting back at it now. Wanted to recap tennis. I must say, ultimately a very exciting event there. First, I want to mention the website, ultimatesportschannel.com. Head over there for 50 posts a day on all sports. A great resource for you, and many other things on the website, and as well as where else to see us from where you're watching now. There is other places in case you can get to those easiest. But Joey, let's talk about the tennis. Phenomenal final. Let's start with the men because it was an incredible final.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the men's final was early Sunday morning here, the day of the Super Bowl, so I don't know how many people got up for it, but tremendous match. Dominic Thiem got up 2-1, and for the first time in Djokovic's history, he came back to win a major final while being down 2-1, so a couple historical moments there. It was impressive tennis all throughout. You can see Djokovic struggling. I think it was a sickness more than injury, he says. His stomach was bothering him a little bit. He was trying to get his energy up. He had so much food and so many things to drink to get his energy up. Once he did, he looked like Djokovic. He looked like the best player in the world and dominated really a great player in Dominic Thiem, who had a 2-1 lead. And Djokovic really showed who's still the best in the world, and it's hard to believe that one of these guys can't crack through the big three.
Well, it is quite amazing, actually. Like you say, down 2-1 for whatever reason. The tennis was just insane. The way they can serve. The return game is what impressed me most with the serves that these guys are firing there. Djokovic, for sure, he's known as the best returner in the sport. There's absolutely no doubt in that, again, showing in this major.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know that from Djokovic, and we see Dominic Thiem there. He looks kind of similar to Djokovic as far as, the way they set up and being able to return things and get things in play. I think at the end of the day, Dominic Thiem was a little confused by how the match was going with Djokovic being sick. It almost felt like,
he was winning too easy for a couple sets.
Like it kind of went. It was a weird match with the rhythm of it because of Djokovic's illness. Thiem really, the first two sets were really difficult. They split that. That was impressive. Second set win by Thiem, but then the third one, he kind of dominated him. It was kind of confusing, and then Djokovic comes out all of a sudden with a ton of energy and playing like the world number one. So it must have been weird mentally for him to adjust because you got so away with one so easily. Then you all of a sudden have a tough one. You think he's probably out of it. You think he's sick or injured for the whole entire match. You don't think he's going to get back. And then Djokovic gets back all of a sudden. Next thing you know, you got to pick it up again.
Yeah.
And, it's just interesting. But it was a good match. I mean, I think Dominic Thiem's definitely the best player outside the big three. He's shown it with 2 French Open finals, now an Aussie Open final. Probably see him in the final again at the French Open. He's that kind of player and that good. So, impressive tournament. But a big win for Djokovic, getting number 8. Only behind Nadal in the French Open for the most wins in a major, one major.
Yeah.
That gives him the all-time at Australia. It gets him to what he said was Kobe Bryant's number 8. He was playing for his best friend there. They were very close and closer to Federer's number of all-time majors, which I think we all know will be broken pretty easily here.
Well, he's still at 17. He's still got 3 to go. It's like chasing Jack. We thought Tiger was going to get there very easily, probably around the same age. Tiger, 33. Lots of problems came in, back problems, personal problems, whatever it may be. So it can't be a gift. I think we would all look at the fact that he should get there based on the pace he's on. But you know what? In the old days, before these 3 arrived, 33 was pretty old in the game of tennis. And I don't know how they keep doing it. I think that, I agree with you. Thiem is the guy. He's got to win one of these off of these guys. He's got to break through. He's got to get that confidence. They've got to start slowing down. Federer is doing that right now. I mean, I think Federer is going to fade from the scene.
Yeah,
semifinals are probably his game now. I think you're going to see Djokovic. You're going to see Thiem, and you're going to see these guys in the final now. I think Federer now pretty much has run his course. Well, maybe at Wimbledon.
You talk about golf and Tiger. Well, Wimbledon's where he can win. I mean, he destroyed Nadal in the semifinal, and really, if it's not for me, Djokovic all the time in the finals.
Yeah.
If he can meet anybody else en route to if he doesn't have to play Djokovic at all, I think he can easily win Wimbledon. I think he's still the best on grass. He's the only one who has a game set for grass specifically. You don't see no youngsters saying, I'm prepping my game for grass. So, and he's still dominating Nadal in the semifinals, so even Nadal can't really stop him there. So really, if he doesn't face Djokovic in the final and he can get to the final, I think Wimbledon's the one for him to keep building his major record. But You look at the U.S. Open, the Australia Open. I think it's just tough on the hard court for his body to take it right now. And I think grass doesn't hurt his body as much. Certainly isn't hard on the back, the stops and the starts and the pounding of the running. So I think you're going to see him probably skip the French. He played it last year only to lose to Nadal again in the semis. But unfortunately, he's still better than Nadal at Wimbledon, maybe even hardcore, but more likely than Wimbledon. And it's just Djokovic. If he doesn't have to face Djokovic, Federer can move on. Even this, what did it come down to? It came to Djokovic in the semifinals. Who knows if he would have beat someone else in the semis because he was getting a little banged up. But still, the first set he would have easily won against anyone else. Djokovic takes it back and wins it, and then you're dejected. So we'll see going forward with Federer. I think it is a thing like Tiger, though, with Augusta. I think Djokovic is not injured like Tiger was looking like in his prime. So I don't see that happening for Djokovic. I can't see him slowing down. He's too good in Australia. He's too good at Wimbledon. And then at the U.S. Open, it's actually probably the most even of them all. So, but the other bad thing for Federer is give Nadal the French. He already ties Federer. So it's going to be a tough road. That's why I think Djokovic, who has been more dominant amongst all the events, still the youngest out of the three, is not injury prone like even Tiger Woods was in golf, or you see with certain hockey players. He has just not missed much time. He doesn't play a game that you think should injure him, but it just hasn't. And, they're so smart about their scheduling now. It's coming like golf. They don't play a lot anymore like they used to.
They're targeting the majors always.
And so he has that advantage as well as only playing, maybe 15 times a year.
Well, my concern for him is twofold. And this is a pet peeve of mine, which you don't necessarily agree with. But he played a lot of extra sets getting to the semifinal. Federer. Yeah. He had some tough matches against some of these younger guys. I think that's going to continue to happen. You know me, I really felt that the best players in the world shouldn't even get in until we're in the round of 16 and start playing there because of wearing out some of the players that could be there. Some upsets happen for guys who could maybe get there. And even though they get upset in an early round because they have a bad day, could beat a Federer, could beat a Nadal as they get closer. I think this is a way under today's tough conditions that these top players can continue to be there. But as much as I say that, obviously the three oldest guys are the three best. So I guess that a little bit goes out the window.
They're already winning a lot. If you give them time off, you're only helping them. Like you need, and I agree. Federer played some tough matches. That's why I said the hard court's going to be tough for him. French Open is impossible. It's going to come down to Wimbledon, but he still managed to get through it. See, if he doesn't play Djokovic in the semis, he might get through that too. Yeah. He's still mentally better, and people are still intimidated playing him. So he'll always have that. So even though you say, he got some close and some five-setters, he pulled it out for a reason because he's Roger Federer. He just needs to face someone who's not Nadal or Djokovic, I believe, and he can get in some finals. But we're not talking about Federer. Djokovic doesn't want you talking about Federer. Federer is a Brooks Koepka. He doesn't win as many wins as Federer in regular events, not even close, because he's primed for these majors. And when you give a guy that agenda, who's this good, can prime for majors, is great on grass, great on hardcore, and that's 3 out of your 4 majors, he's just always going to be tough to beat. And, we're really looking at him probably having the major record. Federer probably having the all-time win record because he's way ahead in that, which shows you that it meant a lot more to play more events back in his day during his prime. And, Nadal will be the guy always with probably the most French Opens ever. So they'll each have their thing. It's going to be interesting, barring some significant injury, which is amazing. These guys are staying in this good a shape this entire time. We may not see a change, but... that's the men's game, and people love it because you got these big three. They've carried on a legacy forever, and you get the odd young guy trying to take them down. I think it's going to be Team and Zverev going forward, which you saw here this event.
And they actually put on a great match here too.
They did, yeah.
The shocking part, as we hear these young guys are down all the time with injuries, and yet the top three don't ever seem to be badly injured. And yet the rest of the tennis world, I can't believe we were watching some of this. The amount of time these guys have taken off for injury. I don't know what it is. I don't know if the workout regime is less, like they don't put as much into it as these three guys do. I don't know what it is, but they're the only three. They don't have these injuries where other guys are coming back from injury all the time, and months worth of injury.
It's like golf, though. They went on the weight trend. Yeah. And now they're all going off weights again. Now, someone like Teams lasted pretty well. No injuries, but you remember he's 26 too, and Djokovic won his first one at 20. It's baffling to think about.
He can't catch anything like that.
But really, when you think about it too, which is actually funny, is Team's only 6 feet, Nadal 6'1", Federer 6'2", and besides Djokovic being 6'4", the big three are actually smaller. So even though we saw this wave of massive tennis players come through and they were winning with their serve, those are the players that actually have been able to last. The players that have been able to last and actually make a bigger impact. You see, like I said, Team's only, I think he's like 6'1", Federer 6'2", Nadal 6'1", and Djokovic is an anomaly at 6'4".
Yeah.
But other than that, it's really these big guys like Raonic and all these guys getting injuries just because they're too tall, too lanky, I believe. But I think no weights. I think you're seeing the average guy be 6 to 6'2". They're going to be the most successful tennis players because of the physical impact of running. And, as you see now, too, the serve gets you through a couple rounds. There's still guys out there that can handle the big serve nowadays, and those big guys are struggling to really make it to the top 3 in the world, top 5 in the world. And that's why you're seeing this height be the top 5, because they're the only ones I think that can last 5 sets, can last all these rounds, can play all these events, and be in competition for the trophy at the end of the day. So it's an interesting time in tennis. I don't think you're going to see much change. I'd like to see Thiem get in the winner's circle because I think he's the best guy. They've all said it. Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, they've all said he's the best one out there.
Yeah.
But that's your Aussie Open wrap-up for the men's side. Anyways, Djokovic wins again. And we want to bring up all these fun facts, but really at the end of the day, the best player went in, and he won for the 8th straight time. Or not the 8th straight time, but 8th time in his career.
But amazing, he's never lost.
In the final.
When he's
Or
made the
semifinal.
semifinal, in the final, he's never lost. It's an amazing record to be able to keep yourself. And here he obviously wasn't at his best in the middle of the match, still came back. So, Joey, the men's game takes me to the women's game. And another pet peeve of mine in 5 sets for women, Djokovic would have been beaten if they only played 3 sets. These 5-setters really bring out the best players. I think the women have to go to 5 sets. We talked about this previously, so we don't have to go through all the reasons why or why not or whatever. But for the tennis, there is nothing like 5-set matches. There's the stress.
Well, it's a war on attrition.
It's like it's back and forth.
You see these guys dragging their legs to the sidelines to pick up towels, and you just really, it gathers respect and intensity. Also, you talk about real quick about the 5 sets. So Djokovic would have been out. More importantly, though, he was able to manage his energy. Yeah. And he felt like he didn't have it, so he gave up a set until he could find it. And, you can't do that in the women's tennis, only 3 sets. So let's talk about the women's. First of all, congratulations, Sophia Kenin.
Yeah.
An American woman. The highest ranked American, only 22 years old.
Now, 20, actually.
20 years old, okay. So impressive win there with her. Her only win. Yeah. It ends up being a
shocking,
major. We've seen a lot of her of late. So Sophia Kenin, congratulations to you. You definitely go on. She can have a really good career by the sounds of it, by the way she played. Yeah. Very intense, played awesome. Lost the first set, came back to win the next 2. And unfortunately for the Spaniard, she was battling, it looks like, a little bit of injury herself. Yeah. But congratulations, huge win there. Always good to be your first win be a major. That doesn't happen very often. So finally, another American to follow in Serena's footsteps. So that's got to be very exciting for the hometown. Well, not the hometown, but like the biggest country in the world. So that's got to be exciting for them, and it'll be interesting watching her going forward. Yeah, it is going to be really interesting. This girl is full of emotions, though. Oh my God. Yeah. Like, she is up and down. She was winning a match, I think 30-15, and almost crying, like, because she missed a shot. Like, she has really got it. When they say leave it out on the court, she really does, because she's so emotional. It was nice to see at the end, her and her father's been with her all the way. I don't know if he's still the coach of her, but with her in her box, it was a touching moment with the two of them after the event. And so that was very nice to see. And like I say, the impressive part is women's tennis. You got a young tennis player coming up. Neither one of you and I can remember the other woman. I feel so bad in the final, but she's a former major winner. She's coming back and she's playing well. That's going to be great to see. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what Serena can do. I really feel like her game is really going to be tough on her. She's not been on winning finals, and now she's losing before the finals. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Our own Canadian girl, we don't know what's going on there with the injuries. You know, yeah, I mean, you look at a major and then can't play. You look at the women's tennis, it's definitely the most versatile. You know, it's very exciting. Every major, you can't bank on anybody going far. It's really cool that way if you're into that. If you're into, like, not having really, you have the legend Serena, but besides her, I think it's hard to build a legendary career in women's tennis, which makes it exciting at the same time, but it's hard to also build attachments to players. But you know, it's fun. I mean, you look at Bianca Andreescu in Canada, Sophia Kenin now American, Naomi Osaka is from Japan. Yeah. So, you know, it's worldwide, it's inclusive. Coco Gauff's also going to be a superstar in the making, and she's American as well. So you get this good variety, you get new winners. You never know when the stars are going to go out. It's different than the men's, but at the same time, it's a fun different in a way because it's pretty wild. And every major, I mean, we haven't had a back-to-back major winner in women's tennis in a very long time. from what I can remember. So, it's definitely a different game in there. And, look at world number 1. She won the French last year, and the French is coming up. And can she win?
Yeah.
So, it's very interesting. You talk about also the women coming back from injuries. So, it'll be really, really cool going forward. The injuries on the women seem to be a lot harder. I think it's hard for them to return. Bianca, who knows how long she's going to be out. You talked about the Spaniard in the final. She just came back and had a good run there. So, we'll see. But injuries, I think, definitely play a part. And, just not having 5 sets, it's just making it easier for all these different winners to come through, which is fun.
Well, I think we know on the women's game, different than men, it's hard for young players to get there because the men, the muscle, this experience, this hard, like unbelievably hard serves. You don't have that on the women's side. I mean, Coco Gauff is as tall and as muscular as any woman on tour. Like, they can get that way at 15 years old. On the women's side, you can't get that way at 15 years old as a man because the guys in their 20s and 30s have built out so much more muscle. They have so much harder serves. The women's side, that's what we love about it. It's always a mystery going into every event because of the fact that anybody can come up any week. They almost are all the same structure, right? Serena would be the exception. That's why she's been so great. She's much bigger than other women on tour, has a harder serve than any woman on tour. But I think going into almost every week, the women's is always up in the air because you don't have that power game like you do with the men.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Serena's been the only one consistent. Even if you talk about all the finals she lost, she's been consistently in the finals, which is still something to think about. You talk about the greats. It's sometimes not just about how many times they win. It's how many times they're there.
Well, she's trying to get that last one, though. She's trying to catch, I think it's Margaret Court.
Yeah.
And she cannot get that last one.
The problem is,
she's got to get there.
Like you said, she is facing new blood every time she gets in the final, which is harder for her than anybody else.
We also know people peak to play the best, right? That always happens. So all these players want Serena more than anybody else to beat her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's as much. I think she's facing young people in the finals, and young people don't seem to care. You see it a lot now in sports, more than you certainly used to, where the young talents are prospering because they just don't care.
Well, we saw that in the Super Bowl, a 24-year-old quarterback, right?
because they're just more well prepared. I mean, I don't think they care about legends. Like surprisingly, the men's side, it affects them more. But I think when I see when Saka plays Serena and then Bianca plays Serena, they're just out there doing their thing. They don't they love Serena, but they're like all about themselves, and it's the new attitude definitely of young talent. I think it's the tough part for Serena. She keeps getting the final. She keeps getting new blood, a new young person who has nothing to lose. All the pressure's on Serena every time she plays a final.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure it'd be nice for her to face someone who somehow has some sort of pressure in the final. Maybe a former winner, maybe the back-to-back champion or something. Yeah. But right now she goes into these finals and she's playing people with nothing to lose. Well, it's difficult to get this last one.
She's the only star in women's tennis. And that's one thing we need. I think to continue to build the women's game, you need a star like Serena. She's not going to be there forever. She's getting, again, she gets close, but this week, out she goes early on.
But you hear she immediately went out and practiced.
Yeah.
She's like Federer, that I don't think tennis, the interest of tennis is leaving her by any means, which is always the first sign of possible retires. When you hear a star go like, I just don't want to do my routine anymore, that's usually the first sign they're thinking of retirement. That's not the saying out of Serena's group or herself. The word is she went right back to practice, and so I think that's interesting. I think for her, if she can get 2 majors and pass Margaret Court, which I still think she'll do, I still think she's going to be in finals going forward, and eventually she'll get over the hump of winning one, might even go back to back, that sort of situation here. Then she might contemplate retirement. But it is amazing. I mean, 38 years old. She's the only really superstar woman out there. Everyone still goes for Serena.
Still chasing her,
and she's out there and competing at high levels, and it's very impressive to watch for sure. And we definitely fear how long that's going to last. But you get new stars a lot faster. So in women's tennis, so now you kind of got like I said, I listed 4 people from 4 different countries that everyone cheers for, and then you still got Serena to cheer for. So at least they're good in that way of tennis. It's kind of like golf right now. There's just new winners and new winners and new winners, and then there's Tiger.
Yeah.
So it's in a good state, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun going forward. And I think deep down though, we all hope she gets the one past Margaret Court, because I think she's been the most superstarish of women's tennis ever.
Well, I think we need it from
as far as media goes.
Yeah, another perspective as well is you need more players that are recognized, more players that have majors, because the crowds were not great on the women's side. A lot of the the weekend when Serena went out, I think it lost it went boom. Serena's not there. We need a couple of these women to win back-to-back majors to really look like the star. that people want to see, that are going to come out and watch, and then they start to watch the others as well who might beat them. There's not a lot of drama on the other side, except on the women's side, except you don't know who's going to win. But there isn't a star to be there, like I have to be there for this match.
Yeah.
Serena is the only star women's tennis has right now. So we need to see someone go on a run. I'm hoping this can, and she's pretty intense. She's got a great game. Be interested to see if she can go. But everybody, even when they reach the top, gets knocked down. You know, even in this tournament, all the top seeds went out.
And that's that 5-set problem I think we talked about is you don't give the stars enough time to maybe beat someone who upsets them in a quick match or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the great thing about it is it's a toss up. You know, maybe Bianca can go on a run. Maybe
she's got to get back playing.
Kennan's definitely the one. She's healthy. Yeah. She looks like she wants it the most. We talk about that. You hear it actually. If you watch other sports, there's always the debate on superstars, right? Is so many people have talent. How far do they want to go with it? Well, I'd have to say Kenin looks like the most intense about it. Yeah. She's the one like. You know, this is everything to her. You look at, respectfully, some of the other stars in women's tennis, even some of the male stars in, like, Kyrgios, people say, you know, he's one of those guys that just doesn't care enough to go for it. You know, has the talent, doesn't go for it. You see it in hockey, you see it in basketball, you see it in every sport, men or women. There's certain stars that don't go for it. Kenin definitely is one of the ones that, at least if you believe in her talent, will probably have the attitude to go for it. And that's got to be exciting. And respectfully, I think it has to be American to follow in Serena's steps. Yeah. It does provide more drama. They got the biggest major in the U.S. Open, respectfully. So, you know, that does help that she's American and could be that superstar. And I think tennis and American tennis and all of it needs it because they have no one on the men's side either. So they need Kenin, I think, to follow in the women's footsteps, of Serena's footsteps. So it's a great start. Lots of excitement going forward. And, you know, we were certainly happy to get up every day and watch it. Some great tennis and a great week. Yeah, like you say, I think the Americans now have 4 inside the top 20 on the women's side. So that's... And Coco Gauff's coming too. Yeah, that's impressive. So, you know, you're right about one thing about American sports fans. When they have stars to cheer for, they do, and they show up in big numbers. And since they are the biggest tennis nation, as they are the biggest nation in almost everything they get involved in, this could be great for the women's game. I'd like to see it. I don't like going into majors where all the top draws are falling out early. It takes away the like I said, the star appeal, the interest on who's going to win. Adding to majors, you know, like that's going to be the biggest thing here too, is can we find a woman who can add to it? A lot of them win that one, win a second, but for some reason, the game doesn't hold together. But like I said, it's a lot to accomplish, and especially in women's tennis because they start so young. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be hard when you're winning so young and then you get all this money and to really understand to keep going. I think it's just got to be tough, and that's why I think the Kenin girl, though, she like doesn't even talk about money. She doesn't talk about really her life. She's been driven since she was 7 years old to win. Right. Now, I hope because she accomplished it, that doesn't end it, and you know, all of a sudden it's not such a big deal. I want to see her make it a big deal at every event. So anyway, let's wrap this up. It was a great major. It was super great major. Really difficult to sweep through it all. We got really whacked out yesterday. I don't think either one of us could function. Oh my God. And so we got a lot of that. Now the nice thing is, well, we do have the French Open, which is going to be time trouble again before they, and even Wimbledon's time trouble. Wimbledon's not bad. When we get back to U.S. Open, we get a normal time for these events. But Wimbledon, the late matches happen in the morning for us. Yeah. They got to fix these Australian French Opens. 3:30 at midnight. Jesus. Now I get it too. It turned really hot. That was the other thing that was interesting at this event. 107 degrees one day, and it was only like 69 another day. So that's a really difficult thing for the players to cope with as well. I didn't understand not using the roof more often. The day that was 107, they had the roof open. I didn't get that at all. Like air condition these guys, cover them up in that kind of weather, and get the best matches we can get out of that. So, but anyway, it was super exciting. Really enjoyed it, and we don't cover tennis every week. There's just so much to watch, and it's a sport we love to play, but we don't sort of see it on our TV as much. Like I don't see the weekly shows like with our golf. You see the coverage. I don't see that on the tennis all the time. So somehow we miss the weekly ones. I don't know if you'd have to. Well, I think first of all they play many times, and they play all over the world more often than than golf, which is mostly in America. But more importantly, we care about what matters, which is the major. So we'll come to you anytime there's a major on. Yeah. The French Open, we'll call you. We'll come on video when the final set with Thiem and Nadal, because you don't need to watch the rest of it. And then I hope you do. And then I hope Nadal gets beat. And then we'll talk to you at Wimbledon when it's Djokovic and Federer, and then we'll see what's up with the U.S. Open. But you can basically predict those two majors. I want Nadal to get beat. I feel that his reputation in the majors
is too narrowly built on the French Open. So I want to see that happen, make him work hard for the others. Great guy, though. Again, the men's tennis, too, give them all credit, man. They're really respectable. Once you get past Hero, he's got no respect for anybody, although he was way better because he got warned about being suspended and stuff like that. So he was way better in this event. But the rest of those guys are very complimentary of each other. They have total respect for each other, which is great to watch. And so I'd like to see him in there, but I'd like to see him get beat because I don't want him to have 13, 14, 15.
We'll worry about it in 3 months.
He goes past Federer, and it's really all built on one event.
Well, Djokovic has 8 Open, so that's debatable.
It's all a little piece of it, but he's so dominant with so little in the rest of them. I mean, these other guys have a lot in all 3 other than the French. So anyway, we'll see what happens. We're looking forward to the next major. We'll look forward to see what's happening in the tennis world. We'll come to you if any shocking things are happening, like our Canadian girl is back playing. We're hoping for that day, and that could be in any tournament. We'll make sure we follow that for you. But anyway, that's great. We'll look forward to the next major and getting back on the tennis trail at that time.